lying inside the metallic conductor. Is that clear? One end of the cylinder is outside the metallic conductor and the other end of this cylinder is inside the metallic conductor. So due to symmetry we can say there will be another point P dash where the electric field will exist. But will it really exist? That we will talk just now. So I am repeating once again, this is the metallic solid conductor. The charge is distributed uniformly, okay, and sigma is the charge density. This is the point P where we have to find what? Where we have to find the electric field. The point P is situated at a distance r from this conductor. One end of the Gaussian surface which we have taken, that is outside this metallic conductor, and the other end is inside this metallic conductor. We will apply the Gauss law and then we will find the electric flux, and we will equate that electric flux with the formula integral E dot dl. So now let us talk about that how the electric field will exist here. So here you can see that the electric field which will come out or will lie in this surface, Gaussian surface, that will be also along the, its direction will be also along the axial line of this cylinder. So on the plane face of this cylinder, the dA vector and the electric field both will be what? Both will be parallel to each other. Therefore, angle between them will be equal to 0. But again on the curved part, we are talking about the curved part, then what will happen? The dA vector will be in upward direction and the electric field will be horizontal. So there will be 90 degree between dA and electric field E. In the lower part, curved part also the same thing will be there. dA vector will be in downward direction and the electric field will be horizontal. So here also what will happen? 90 degree will be there. So due to the curved part of this cylinder, again there will be no electric flux. The electric flux which will be there, that will be due to the plane face of this cylinder. Now, since I have told you just now, and again I am repeating, that due to a charged conductor, the charges will always be in a charged conductor, the charges will always be on the surface of that conductor. Inside the conductor there will be no charge. So this is a metallic conductor. Therefore, the charges on this metallic conductor will exist on the surface. Inside the conductor there will be no charge, and since the other end of the Gaussian surface is lying inside the conductor, therefore there will be no electric field on the other plane surface, plane face. Why? Because there is no charge inside the conductor, and since the other end is lying inside the conductor only, therefore there will be no electric field at the point P dash. Okay. Only the electric field which will be there, that will be at this point. So we will find the electric flux at this plane face of the cylinder and we will get the electric field. So we can say phi will be equal to integral E dot dA. Finally, we'll get phi is equal to integral E dA, and then we can say phi will be equal to E A. Okay. EA is what? In EA, A is what? A is the area of this plane face only. Okay. A is the area of this plane face of the cylinder. Okay. Now, due to Gauss law, phi will be equal to net charge enclosed in the Gaussian surface Q upon epsilon naught, and that will be equal to sigma A upon epsilon naught. Okay, due to Gauss law, phi will be equal to Q upon epsilon naught. Q will be equal to sigma A, charge density into area of the plane face. Okay, we'll equate these two, we'll get EA is equal to sigma A upon epsilon naught, and finally we'll get E is equal to sigma A upon epsilon naught A. From here A will be cancelled and we'll get sigma upon epsilon naught. So this is the electric field at a point P lying outside the metallic conductor, charged metallic conductor. Okay, sigma upon epsilon naught. So this was all about applications of Gauss theorem. In the next video, we'll proceed further.